Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Resin Me Up. Today is Coasting Through the Week. And in case you're new here, if you don't know what Coasting Through the Week is, it is a collaboration between a few creators, and those are myself, Marva at Marvelous Artsy, Tammy at Epoxy Me That, Laura from BMOS Design Studio, and Tim the Bass Resonator. And every week we come together and we design something with coasters. Very simple, and anyone can join the collaboration. All you have to do is notify one of us, me, Marva, Tammy, Laura, or Tim, and let us know you want to join. And then you just send us the link to your video, and then we will add you to the playlist, and then that's it. And then we will, if you're new to the collaboration, we'll shout you out and we'll let everybody know that you're joining. I didn't get any notifications on anyone new joining this week. Go from there. So today, as you can see in front of me, I have my coasters that was given to me in Happy Mail. And I've already poured them and cured the some black resin. And so what I want to do, and I've never done this before, so this is going to be new to me. I need to introduce a new product from Let's Resin, and that new product is their 16 count colored UV resin pearlescence, and their new colors. Let me slide this over here and let me open this up. And if you watch Michelle over at Glitz and Glitter, you will have seen her use these in her live the other day. So the size of the bottles are bigger. They're 30-gram bottles compared to their older bottles, which are 20 grams. So they're 10 more grams per bottle. And let's see, we've got black, dark green, gold, blue, orange, sky blue, Barbie pink, yellow, red, white, brown, silver, lavender, purple, violet, and green. So those are all the new colors. And then it comes with all your lids, obviously. Let me see if there's anything new with these that I need to know about as far as curing or anything. Let me go through there. UV LED light, 5 to 6 minutes. UV light, meaning out in the sun, 4 to 5, well, no, it says UV light, 4 to 5 minutes, meaning maybe a stronger UV light. Sunlight, 6 to 7 minutes. Sunlight on a cloudy day, 20 to 30. Curing time is affected by factors such as UV intensity, resin volume, and working environment. And the above information is an approximate range. Your UV lamp wattage is the suggested above 6 watts, but better not exceed 54 watts. If the wattage is too high, the UV resin will react too quickly and lead to crinkled surfaces and cause too many bubbles. And also they want to reiterate that not all nail lamps are compatible. So make sure the wavelength of your lamp is 365 nanometers and above. And so the shelf life of your UV resin is generally a year. How does the pungent odor of UV resin come about, and is it harmful? UV resin reacts under ultraviolet light to produce resin volatiles. The volatiles are non-toxic but may cause discomfort. Most of the volatile substances can be isolated by using a regular medical mask, but please also make sure to work in a ventilated room. And my room is ventilated with a window, and I have 2 resiners, air purifiers going at all times. Let's see, a question, how about the yellow resistance? How long does it last? We use pure natural resin raw materials. The yellowing resistance is average. It is expected to maintain colorless and transparent for about 1 week outdoors and for a long time indoors. So please avoid long time exposure to sunlight. Question, what affects the viscosity? Does viscosity affect curing speed? Temperature has a strong influence on viscosity and is recommended for use above 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Low viscosity requires less UV energy and cures faster. High viscosity requires more UV energy and cures relatively slower. What is the maximum heat resistance of our UV resin? The heat resistance is 60 degrees Celsius. The hardness of the cured UV resin is about 60D at 60 degrees Celsius, and it is easy to bend and deform over 60 degrees Celsius. So the reason I'm going through these FAQs is because I did a video a while back on all of the UV resins that Let's Resin has. There were some questions, and I just want to make sure that all of those questions are answered. And also, we're going to do a project with this UV resin today, and I want to make sure, you know, that you guys understand the easeability and how you can actually make beautiful resin art with UV resin, and not to be afraid to use it. So UV resin is suitable for small and thin pieces like jewelry or coating creation. A question I get a lot is, why is it still sticky after putting it under the UV light for hours? One reason might be because you're using the wrong mold. UV resin is not casting resin. Any mold that is large, deep, or opaque is not for UV resin. Not enough UV light exposure? Make sure you are using the correct UV light lamp. If you are using a silicone mold, please make sure both the upper side and bottom side get enough UV light, which is where their double-sided UV lamp comes into play, because it will get the top and the bottom at the same time. The cordless is great, but you have to flip it over and do it on both sides. The other one works great because it gets it on both sides. Or adding too much resin dye, pigments, glitters, mica powder, or other fillings is another reason it can be sticky. You can add those things, but don't go overboard. There is a ratio that you need to follow when adding things to resin and to UV resin. And if you go overboard, it will cause both your resin and your UV resin not to cure correctly. And also, you notice that it doesn't say alcohol ink. Alcohol ink is not suitable for UV resin. It just doesn't cure correctly with it. Can I brush the mold with mica powder, chameleon powder before pouring UV resin? It's not recommended. It will not cure properly. You may pour a layer of clear UV resin and let it cure under UV light. Then brush the powder on the surface and pour another clear layer for coating. So we just talked about this. The UV resin has to be able to cure from both sides. So if you're brushing your mold with mica powder or chameleon powder, the light can't get through it on the bottom. Now, that being said, you can, like with this mold here, you notice I poured black, and what we're going to put on top is going to be the UV resins. If you do it correctly, you can get it to cure on the top. So there are ways that you can do it. You just have to know how to do it, okay? How to reduce bubbles. Warm the bottles before mixing. Invert the bottles for a few minutes, then open the cap to use. Pour resin slowly and close to your project. Let it stand for a few minutes before lighting. Remove air bubbles with tools like a lighter, glue stick, etc. And when they say a lighter, what I use is a long neck lighter. I don't use a torch, not for UV resin, because UV resin can burn quickly. So those are some of the most common questions that people have for UV resin. So make sure that you use transparent or translucent molds. Make sure that your molds are clean before you use them, because if you have contaminants on your molds, that's going to affect how your UV resin cures. When you do castings in the mold, cure the surface with a UV LED lamp first, then flip over the mold and cure the bottom as well. Only applicable in translucent molds. Do not demold the UV resin casting immediately after being cured under the lamp. Please wait until it completely cools down, or else it will leave fingerprints on the surface. Just leave the silicone cup and stick under the lamp when you cure the resin piece, then peel off the residue after it cures. Always remember to put the cap back after use. Store it in a dry, cool, and dark place. I always keep my UV resins stored in a drawer, and that's because, you know, it's dark. Even though it comes in black bottles, you still want to keep it away from heat. Okay, that is the gist of UV resin in a nutshell. Now, let me get all of these open, get their lids on, and then I'll be back and I'll tell you what we're going to create today. Okay? All right, BRB. Okay, y'all. Are we ready? Let me slide this over here so I can access my inks a little bit better, because I'm going to have to flip this around. Let me put that on a paper towel so I can slide it. Slide the UV lamp back. All right, I think got everything in frame. All right, so here's what we're going to do today. You guys, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but my ultimate bucket list thing is to go see the Northern Lights. And so today we're going to try to create those Northern Lights on these coasters. And we're going to try to use these UV resins to do that. So, I mean, UV lights can be just about any color, but we're going to try to make them colorful. So we're going to try to use like maybe pink and purple and blue and green, maybe. So I'm just going to go with it. So here's the technique that I'm going to try. So let's just start with the first one, and we'll see how this works. I just came up with this idea, and I thought, I wonder if it's going to work, because it's kind of along the same lines of my ocean waves that I created with the UV resin, but I don't know. We're going to try two different techniques and see which one works the best. So I think we're going to start with blue on this one. Basically, we're just going to put a line of blue, and then maybe a darker blue right above that. And then green. And purple. So bear with me, I've never done this before, so it's all experimental. Maybe lavender. I don't know what color this is. So it's more like a pinky color. And then we're going to go with pink. Okay, so here was my thought process. We'll see if this works. I'm going to take this thing right here, and I'm just going to drag it up and see what we get. Okay? Cross your fingers. Dude, that's making me lightheaded. That didn't turn out exactly how I thought it was going to. Let me move this back a little bit. I keep hitting it. What color did I start with? Was it the sky blue? I may have to do some tweaking here. Let me get my warm this up. forgot that's what I did with the other. And then I think I went with green. And then purple. Lavender. And pink. Heating that resin up is really the key. And you know what else I think I need to try on the next one is clear. I need to put some clear in it. I think that might help. So let me get some clear out here. Let's see what that does. Might be a little too late. Okay, I think I know what I need to do. This was just the example. Okay, let me cure that. Well, y'all, I didn't hit the button hard enough. Maybe I had something on my gloves or something, but here I was doing this one and look up to put you guys on pause to cure it, and my screen was black. So this one's done. So I'll have to show it to you here. I did a complete different technique this time. What do you guys think about that one? Got resin over there. Now I have to turn this around because we're going to be working from this direction. So I guess we'll do it again. Okay, so this resin is, the clear hard type's too runny. It's definitely better with the high viscosity. So I'm just going to do what I did over there, and I'm just going to make a line. And going to put a blue layer behind it. I'm going to double it up this time because I always end up going back and adding more. And then use this just to combine it into that clear. And then I use my gun to heat it up. Doesn't need much. And then I use my straw. Was that blue? There's my green. So each one of these coasters are going to be different, which is good. I'm just going to blow this one. I'm not going to mess with it. And if any of you guys try this technique and you come up with something even more cool, then by all means do it. I think the high viscosity works just a little bit better. Oh, did I forget to warm it up? You can tell when you haven't warmed it up because it don't move. Does it look like Northern Lights? Probably not, but it's pretty cool looking though. So that looks better with the more of it versus not so much. It cures really well, so. Okay, last one, and I'll wait to cure that one. I'll cure them both at the same time. I got some UV resin over here on. And maybe do orange and red. I mean, what the heck, right? It's my Northern Lights. I can have whatever color I want. But I have seen it red because my daughter got a picture of it from her house in Wichita, and it was red. These are really vibrant colors. These are not muted at all. So if you really want to use these for, you know, jewelry and stuff, they're really vibrant colors. Because the colors over here are black, brown, silver, white, and gold. Guess I'll add some sky blue here. I like that blue in there. Looks pretty cool. Okay, I will get these guys cured, and then I will be back and we'll put a clear top coat on these to fill them up the rest of the way. Okay? All right, BRB. Okay, y'all, got it all mixed up. Now, I'm using the Let's Resin casting resin, and I added some crushed crystal, just a didge. And then after I ran it through my vacuum chamber, I realized I didn't scrape the sides and the bottom after I mixed it up with my mixer. So I did that real quick. So there might be just a couple bubbles in there, but nothing I can't get rid of. All right, and this cured up nice. This doesn't need much, but I need some for a project I'm working on over here that I'm going to show you guys too one of these days here. Well, I got to do it, got to finish it. Something I've been talking about. Heck, I just might show it to you today. Why not? The process that I'm using for it. For some reason this corner is popping up over here. I may have to set something on it. Trying to be very careful not to overfill them. That's good. Trying to decide, should I use my long necked lighter instead of alcohol? And I gotta cover them up. I like that they're all different. Neither one of them is the same. They're pretty though. Very unique. All right, done skis. I just need to cover these up. I'll figure something out here and get them covered up. And then I'll be right back and I'll show you what we're gonna make, or what I'm gonna use this rest of this resin for, okay? Hold on. Okay, switched over to the other side of my table. You guys remember this? Or actually, do you remember this? So this is the Medusa thing, and this is the frame that I chose to put it in. And I had the whole team sign their names. Of course, Riley has to be down here front and center. And so this is going to go right smack dab in the middle. And I did make some changes to this. I added some rhinestones because somebody suggested it in the comments, and so I took their advice and I added some rhinestones, and I actually gave her an eye versus her having just eyeshadow on. So I did make some changes. And so this is going to go smack dab in the middle of this. We're going to pour resin over the top of this to seal this in. And then when it's that's cured, then down here is going to say Medusa, and then it's going to say Coach Taylor, and I'm going to put that on with vinyl. So I'm going to move this up just a little bit because Medusa is going to go right underneath there. Of course, Riley, you know, she has to be front and center. So yeah. So that's the way it's going to look, just like that. So we're just going to go ahead and pour this leftover resin in here, and I tape the back so hopefully it won't leak. And then we'll put another coat on it after I get the vinyl on it. And this already has the crushed crystal in it, so that's just going to add to it. And Saturday is recital, so that's when she's going to get it given to her. And gold was the color that they all wanted for the frame color, so it was just wood, and I just, guess what I painted it with, you guys? I painted it with the KAMENSKAYA gilding. That stuff went on like a dream. I used a paintbrush and just painted it on there, and it was just boom, 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 done. No issues at all. I sanded the wood, of course. I was going to share it with you guys when it was done, but since I had to put resin on it, I thought, well, might as well show you guys what it looks like. This is what I've been working on behind the scenes. I think I got all the way around the edge. Alright, let me grab my heat gun here. Okay guys, back on my other side of the table. These are ready to come out of here. So let's see what they look like. These are actually kind of cool. I don't think I would call them Northern Lights though. I would just call them colorful coasters. That's what I would call them. Excuse me, goodness. Very, very cool. I'll have to sand the edges. But that is what they look like. I got paint all over my hands. All four different. So kind of very unique coasters. Yeah. So you guys will have to let me know what you think, because they are very unique. Very, very unique. I'll have to go around the edges of some of these. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. These are my coasters for coasting through the week. And I will link the playlist in my description box. So make sure you go out and check out all of the other creators today that has joined us. Today, or this week, will be Tammy's last video. She's no longer going to be doing this with us anymore, so just a heads up on that. So it'll just be me and, to my knowledge, Marva, Tim, and Laura. So just so you guys know that she is no longer going to be with us. So yeah. All right, y'all. Well, have a great night, and I'll get pictures of these, put them at the end of the video so that you can see them up close and personal. Yeah. All right. Have a great night. Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow for another video. Bye.